You may be questioning why I clicked on Squall. Well, I did say in my previous video that I would be doing a video on burst weapons and the new LD weapons, as we are calling it now. And that is who gets his very first burst and LD weapon. If you haven't watched the reveal trailer that I left in the link in the description below in my last video, please go ahead and click on that now, or search it up yourself, just so you can go check out the trailer. I would showcase the trailer on my channel, just so we could talk about it and everything, but I do not have that kind of skills nor technology for that just yet. Nor do I even know how to do that, and when I figure it out, I can definitely start doing stuff like that in the future for the channel. But as it stands now, Squall is our very first burst weapon, as well as LD weapon. He's the only one who gets one so far, but that will actually change fairly soon, because we do have some info on burst weapons. So we're gonna start off with the LD weapons. So basically, the LD weapons are much like just newer, more powerful versions of skills. They come out with a higher CP cost. I believe it's 100. Starting out with a base CP cost of 100, they unlock a new ability for the characters to use, a new, more powerful ability. For example, Squall, I believe it's called Rough Divide. I'm awful with name, guys. I'm sorry, but I believe it's called his ability Rough Divide, where he hits really hard and he gets his new unique frame buff that's specific to just Squall after using it. So characters who receive LD weapons will get new effects, new abilities, new attacks, and everything. They'll have specific usages depending on how the ability is. For example, Squall, his LD weapon gives him Rough Divide, which has three attacks, three attacks only. For good reason. These are actually very powerful attacks. That's pretty much it on LD weapons. Now, burst weapons, however, burst weapons, what they offer the character is a 6-turn summon-like state where they get one usage of all of their abilities, but it's up to you of what abilities you use and how and where you use them and how you use them. So the character gets to solely attack during this burst phase, and like I said, while they're attacking, you get to choose who does what and who does where, with the abilities and everything. At the end, they will release a massive attack that actually breaks the max brave cap of 9999. And we'll proceed to go over that, and there's a new cap limit of 198,999. So that is a new cap limit that is offered to burst characters only on that final burst attack. It will even keep record of the total amount of damage that you've accumulated. For example, in the release trailer, Squall hit for 689,000 damage, which is incredible. Now, you're thinking to yourself, wow, this is a must-have weapon. We'll get into that. Burst weapons can only be used once per quest. So even if you have another character that has a burst weapon, you cannot use that other burst on that other character. Bursts can only be used by one character once per quest. So what that basically means is that these weapons are not a must grab. The fact that you can only use them once per quest, like a summon, means that they're there just to say that you have them. The big grab out of these weapons are the LD weapons, because they add more longevity to the character. They also add that additional attack to do additional effects, to do additional damage, and things like that. That is the main prize. That is the weapon that you want to go for. Versus a burst weapon, which has the same amount of CP that offers 100 base, 130 at max. It does offer higher stats, it does, but they're still not necessary. And burst weapons will be released to only the main protagonist and antagonist of the respective series. So, for example, Cloud, Warrior of Light, Squall, Ultimecia, Garland, X-Death, those characters who are the main villains and the main heroes of the respective Final Fantasy series will be the only characters to receive a burst weapon. This is a unique way of keeping the main cast alive, as a lot of the main cast has fallen off, such as Squall, Cloud, and everything. But still, regardless, the main prize is the LD weapons. And the only reason why, another big reason why I'm saying that is because if you would actually want to pity a burst weapon, you would have to use 100. You would have to do 25 multis. 25 multis, guys. That's no. Sorry, 100. Yeah, no, I'm right. 25 multis, yes. 25 multis, that equals out to 125k gems. If you want to pity one of these weapons, you need to drop 125k gems. That is wild. That is a lot. Pretty much, like I said, the main prize is the LD weapon. They have the same amount of pity as an EX. Only 75k gems are required to pity an LD weapon. Both the LD weapons and the burst weapons have a 1% drop rate off of a ticket, as well as a 3% drop rate on a multi. So the odds of getting them are even lower than an EX. Now, does this make the EX not worth it to get? Absolutely not. You still need that EX. The EX is still probably the more useful of the 3 new weapons. The EX, for obvious reasons, guys. The obvious reasons is that the EX offers additional effects to all the characters that you're going to need and want, as well as the EX that recharges that can be consistently used. While the LD weapon offers new abilities, new frame buffs, new stats, and everything, the EX weapon is and always will be the main prize, because that is what adds pretty much the bulk to your character. So don't stop and think that, oh, I didn't pull the LD weapon, this character is now useless. No, that is not the case. You might struggle with a little bit of longevity issues, and your character might not be performing at its absolute max when the LD weapon drops for that character, but the character could still be used, is the thing. So you have to make sure that you get the EX weapon over all else. If you pull the LD weapon without that EX weapon on a new character that dropped, you need to keep digging for that EX. The EX is what makes the character still. The LD weapon just adds longevity, and the burst weapon is just nice to have. Excuse me. So the only other info that we have so far is that the burst weapons will be released monthly. They will not be coming out every other quest, every other event. They will be released monthly. So this gives us some time to spread out, and pick and choose, like, who do we want. And when the character does come out with their burst weapon, they will be synergy for the entire month on any event, which is, which is actually kind of cool. The only thing that's unfortunate, what they're doing on the JP side now, is actually throwing out requirements for you to use these specific characters on certain events and everything, basically forcing synergy, which is no bueno. That's not cool. That's probably the only downside that I see in all of this. But other than that, everything else that we have is really cool. Now, a lot of people are thinking that burst weapons are the be-all and all of this game. It marks the downfall in this game because it's making us have to dig and dig for a 1% or 3% chance weapon. No, that is not the case, guys. Even the LD weapon is not needed on these characters. It's not. It adds great additional effects and provides longer longevity for certain characters who could use it. I will admit there are certain characters who could use it, but given the cast that we have that are coming out, and the cast that we currently have, even if you just pull the EX weapon and you can only walk away with just the EX weapon and the rest of their kit and no LD weapon, you're perfectly fine. Characters who are going to be released down in the future and coming out as lost chapters will be receiving an EX and an LD weapon on all of their banners. Garland is actually returning fairly soon on the JP version, and he will be returning with a EX and a new LD weapon as well. No. Only one character on respective banners will receive LD weapons. We have the chance of returning with EXs, but only one character at a time will receive an LD weapon. Rightfully so. They are very powerful weapons. So, for example, when Garland comes out, Warrior of Light will not be receiving an LD weapon alongside of him. Warrior of Light will be returning with his EX, and that is it. Garland will be the only character on that banner to receive an LD weapon. So, the way LD weapons work is we will be getting one per banner, per character that we do have coming out in the future, but only one character off of that banner. The main prize of the banner, and the character releasing with that banner, will receive the LD weapon. The other characters could also come out alongside of the characters dropping with LD weapons continually, like they have been with new EX pluses for characters that needed it. So, for example, when Ultimisia drops, she will be receiving an LD weapon, but Pain alongside of her will be receiving an EX plus. So things will be continuing forward pretty much like normal on JP. We will have monthly releases of characters getting burst weapons. We are unsure of who is next after Squall, but going forward, that is how characters will be released. New character events will have new LD weapons alongside of their EXs, while releasing new EX pluses alongside of them for characters who either don't have one yet or have an EX, just need to go plus. So yeah, that's pretty much it. No, absolutely not. Burst weapons are not the mark of the downfall of this game. Burst weapons are not needed. They are not necessary. I would say, if it is even necessary, the necessary weapon is the LD weapon. The LD weapon just provides longer longevity to the character and allows them to be used differently, gives some new effects and everything, which we will find out what these new effects offer to the characters as the time comes. The burst weapon is not needed. The burst weapon is just an awesome way of, dealing more damage and pretty much just showing off like, yeah, I got this. It's basically an LR in Dokkan, or what's another example? That's pretty much all I got. They're basically like an LR in Dokkan. There are plenty of ways to continue playing Dokkan. The LR is not needed, just like the burst weapon here. If you pull it, congratulations, you did great. That's awesome. But if you don't, oh well, it's okay. As long as you got the LD weapon, that's fine. They're not needed, guys. This is not marking the downfall of this game. I don't know why people are jumping to that conclusion. They're just an awesome alternative to beefing up your character even further, but the LD weapons are the main new prize. And yeah, that's pretty much that. I think I covered just about everything that we know so far. If I have not, and you know of something that I did not cover, proceed to tell me in the comments below. I'll be very much appreciative of that. I know there are some things that I miss from time to time. Well, I miss things quite often, to be honest. So if there is anything that I missed that you know of, proceed to put that down in the comments below. This is just an informational video to let us know. And what makes this even better for us global players is, now that we know who will be getting burst weapons, we can meticulously time out who we want to save for when our burst weapons come. Because unfortunately, yes, I said they're not needed, but we're gonna fucking want one. We're gonna want one. They're so cool. I don't think Zack is getting a burst weapon. Yes, he's the main protagonist of Crisis Core, but I don't know if that counts. I hope it does. I really hope it does. I would be so happy. And everyone on this channel who watches me knows that I will save. I will save for that. I will make sure I can pity that. I don't even care. But we all know we're going to want one. They're not needed, but we're going to want one. So we can now use this time as global players to pick and choose which one we want, and we'll know the order of when they come out, which is really nice. We got that informational advantage right now. So pick and plan, guys. Pick and choose. Like I said, LD weapons are the more important prize, not the burst weapon. But we're going to want one, so pick and choose who you're going to want. Making sure you are meticulously planning for that. Don't bother planning for it now. You're going to need the EX weapons along the way and everything. But you can always keep this information in the back of our head and prepare for the future. So thanks for watching, guys. If there's anything else that I missed, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.